Everybody, hey, this is Mike Kohler coming to you from Mike Kohler Fitness. And in this video, I want to talk about your rotator cuff. I want to show you a few band exercises you can do to strengthen your rotator cuff. And in this video, I want to primarily focus on your external rotators. And the two primary external rotators in the rotator cuff are teres minor and infraspinatus. Okay, so first I want to show you where they get attached to on the body. I'm going to use the skeleton, okay? And then I'm going to explain to you the mechanics and pretty much how they work. And then we'll go through some band exercises showing you exactly how I like to isolate and strengthen those external rotators. Okay, so let's first talk about infraspinatus. Okay, infraspinatus attaches to the back of your scapula, your shoulder blade. It covers this whole posterior surface, runs along this medial border here and covers and inserts right on the humerus and is great at externally rotating. Then teres minor actually does the same thing. It's a smaller muscle. It attaches lower down on the scapula and inserts at a very similar spot on the humerus, and it also helps in external rotation. What you have to keep in mind though, especially with infraspinatus, is that it is a fan-shaped muscle, meaning that it has a big broad attachment down here which is really wide and then narrows to a small part on the humerus. So when you're doing your external rotation, for example with the bands, you do want to do it sometimes with your arm close to your body, but then you want to also bring it away from the body. And you'll notice that when the arm comes away from the body, different parts, different muscle fibers are going to line up more. So if you really want to fully strengthen the external rotators of the rotator cuff, you really have to do some work close down by your side, and then you also want to do some work higher up to really fully strengthen and develop all the external rotators. Okay? So now let's get the bands and let's go through a couple of really basic exercises that will work infraspinatus and teres minor. Okay, let's go over basic cable band external rotation. Okay, one thing I find that mistake that people make is first when it comes to the wrist, take this wrist extension out of it. Keep the wrist in neutral, and then when you're doing your external rotation, don't do wrist extension. I find people pretend to do external rotation and just do wrist extension. That's the first thing. Secondly, is you really want to emphasize that eccentric contraction. I guess one of the primary reasons you probably are doing rotator cuff work is that maybe you have issues with your shoulder, maybe you have some tendon issues, or your shoulder's giving you trouble, and you just want to create balance in your shoulder by strengthening the external rotators. I find most people who do a lot of bench press and do a lot of chest work overdevelop the internal rotators, because your big pec, your pectoral is an internal rotator. So it's great to do this external rotation to create a little balance, create a little stability in the shoulder. Okay, so first we're going to keep our wrist nice and straight. We're going to do one set with our elbow tucked in nice and tight, chest up, back flat. Once again, I always like to pack my neck a little bit. I'm going to turn to look at you guys, but when you do this, I would pack the neck. And basically, this is the range of motion. You want to go as far as you can in external rotation, but when you bring it back, I wouldn't go back all the way. Let's keep continuous tension on the muscle. If you went all the way back, see how it would be balanced, there would be no tension. So you want to come to pretty much when you feel a little tension, go as far as you can in external rotation. I do a slight pause and then come back nice and slow. I keep this at, I go about a 5-second rep cadence, like 1, 2, I pause, come back nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. You know, I do about 15, 20 reps. I do a great time under load. You really want to build muscular endurance. Doing a very slow eccentric is great for the tendon. The research has shown, studies have shown that it actually builds great tendon strength. Okay. And now we talked about before. Let's also change the angle. Let's do one set close. Then let's roll up a towel, and let's do another set with a towel tucked under our arm. The same concept. Now we're just pretty much hitting different fibers of that infraspinatus and teres minor. I would do the same thing, about 15, maybe 20 reps, nice and slow. And then the last thing I would do is I'm going to turn sideways. It's nice to do a set high up when you're doing the rotation. Pause and then come back nice and slow. So that's a great approach for using these bands. I would do one set down low, one set in the middle, and then one set high. And then once you start doing this, maybe work up to 2 sets. You know, and pretty much Try to keep the form really good. As we said before, this is pretty much an isolated movement. Actually, I learned this term from, actually Gary Gray. I took one of his seminars years ago. He used that term, isolated integration. This is another thing you can probably add to this movement, which I like, which also, you're holding the band nice and stable, and then you could also turn your body. So see, I'm turning from the hips, but I'm maintaining a static contraction in the external rotators of the shoulder. This is another nice movement that I like to do. So it's kind of a cool term, that isolated integration. The whole concept is you're isolating the external rotators, but at the same time you're integrating it by actually moving at the hips. So it's like isolated integration, kind of a cool term. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video on how to train your rotator cuff, primarily the external rotators, teres minor, teres major. And just to review quickly, it's a big fan-shaped muscle that attaches to the back of the scapula and to the humerus. It's great at external rotation. Okay, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I post videos like this all the time. And I always like to end these videos by saying that if you live in Westchester, New York, and you're looking for a great gym to train in, looking for great personal trainers, look me up. My name is Mike Kohler. It's my gym, Mike Kohler Fitness. Take care. Hope to hear from you soon.